from Lexington, Kentucky, it's Friday Night Heights in the SEC. Hello everyone, welcome in to Memorial Coliseum. I'm Clay Abels, alongside me Leah Little. The Kentucky Wildcats against the Missouri Tigers tonight. Leah, a big match that could really have some further indications for nationals.
You know, we're in that last half of the season, and it's so important. All the teams in the country right now chasing scores. Kentucky has not done that well at home, so they're hoping tonight to push a big score.
And to do that, they're going to need some star performances, and that starts off with Molly Korth, who's had a big season for the Wildcats.
You know, Molly's run 10 all-around titles this year. She's really the leader on this team. As far as they really count on her performances, she's an SEC Freshman of the Year last year, All-American, scored a 39.55 in the all-around last week. They need her to come big tonight.
As we head into this meet, we'll see Missouri start off on the bars, and Kentucky will be on the vault. And the lineup for the Cats, we're going to start off with Sydney Dukes, who's had an impressive career at Kentucky, 3 event wins on vault in her career, and she will lead us off tonight in this opening for the vault.
So important, that first performer that leads off really sets the tone of the event and the night. Great vault there for Sydney, just a little hot, but really, really nice position in the air. So good start for the Cats.
We see a second look.
Nice lift, nice position, just a little bitty hop. Very nice. Look how tight she is, legs together, beautiful vault.
Strong opening performance there from Sydney Dukes, as we'll go now over to the bars for Missouri, and that'll be Aspen Tucker, the sophomore, who did really well on the beams last week for Missouri. We'll see if she can transfer that skill over to the bars, and she'll lead Missouri underway. Aspen Tucker.
Missouri's really been coming on the last couple of years under Coach Welk and Coach Shannon, and they are doing really well this year, just trying to make a name for themselves in the SEC, the toughest conference in the country. Just seeing some execution mistakes there on the bar routine. Overall, okay routine, just got to clean it up to get those scores. Double back dismount.
Solid finish.
Here you see the overshoot. The dismount, double tuck. Nicely done.
As we head back over to the vault, it'll be Dana Davis, who hasn't got many events in this year, but she's done very well on the vault. 2 career event wins with a 9.9 against Maryland back last season on February the 19th. See a very solid average as she gets underway.
Very nice vault. Cats needed that. She had tremendous lift off the table. Watch the vault. As she rises off the table there, there's a little bit of flex in the knees, not much of a deduction, a little slight balance error on the landing, but overall a nice vault for Danae.
As we head back over down to the bars, will be Brooke Kelly, the junior from Missouri. As you see, not the highest bars average at 9.5. She's doing very well on the beam throughout her career for the Tigers as she heads over to the bars.
You know, some of the things that the judges are looking for on the bars, we talked last week a little bit about dynamics. This should just really, the athletes need to attack the event, show lots of amplitude in their release moves, nice tight handstands. You can see there how she just kind of lost her swing a little bit. It's not really moving smoothly from bar to bar. She started to pick it up a little bit, looking better now. Look for that handstand and sitting up for the dismount. Double layout. Nicely done, except for that little step on the landing. Good routine.
Should beat her 9.5 average there, I would think, as we see the second look.
Here's a release move, pike position, makes it a little bit harder. Little execution deductions there. Again, at this point in the seasons, you should be seeing the athletes and the teams starting to really clean up their routines. The small mistakes like execution, landing, balance errors, all that stuff should be lined out at this point in the season, and everything should be nice and clean and consistent.
Here's the top performer for the Kentucky Wildcats, Alex Highland.
That was a beautiful vault for Alex, and she's happy with that stick. Let's look at it again, and you're going to see just great execution here from Alex. Lift off the table, legs together, and a stick queen on that vault.
She seems like she's just about perfect in every event she's out there with.
Well, she's a performer, that's for sure, and she's happy and enjoys what she's doing, and that's what the sport's all about. That's why these little girls that were out here tonight, that's how they started, flipping around on the couch and in the living room, having fun.
Here's Tia Albritton heading over to the bars. She's been very solid throughout her career for the Tigers. In her senior season, heavily relied on, incredible on the beam, and she works now on the bars.
It's great when seniors are still competing for their team. Teams need that leadership of the seasoned veterans that have been through competitions, and Tia's done that for Missouri. So we're going to look for those things we talked about. Nice handstand, good position there, release move. She just didn't quite ride it all the way up before she did the release. That made her, when she flipped away from the bar. Sometimes it's hard to be patient and wait on those release moves till you really have your flight above the bar. The judges, when they look for amplitude in the bars, look for those releases to be above the bar, the dismount to be above bar level. So here comes her dismount. Let's look for it. Full pirouette, double tuck, little step.
As we see a second look, that was a tough start for her right there. And the finish, she had a little bit of a struggle. That's a tough opener there on the bars for the Tigers.
Nice double tuck, just a little step there. Again, the judges are really looking for that dynamic swing on the bars and aggressiveness.
Katie Stewart, her strong suit on the vault, not 3 career wins. Had a career high 9.875 against Alabama just a week ago.
Great vault. I think the Cats are on a roll here, putting up some great vaults and some great scores. Highland with a 9.875 last time. Very nice vaults.
What's surprising?
Kentucky's a very good vaulting team. They've just been taking steps on their landings, and they're sticking those vaults tonight, which is what they've needed to do to really move up a little bit in their score.
As we head back to the bars, you mentioned before, Kentucky has had trouble here at home. They've almost been a better road team. It's nice to see the solid start for them to get the match opened up.
It's really unusual. You know, most teams do better at home because they've got the home crowd and the comfort zone. But Kentucky's done well on the road, which really speaks great for them. So now they can just kind of put it in cruise and clean up these little things we talked about and get that 197 range.
We'll definitely talk about that more in the match, especially how that factors into the RQS going into the later of the season. As we're looking over the bars for Missouri, they'll be up in the 4th spot will be Shauna Miller. She competed on every bars meet last year, all 13 of them, and 10 in the vault. So this is her strong suit right now for Missouri. Top really performer on and off the mat, named SEC All-Winner academic role. And she's had such an incredible run in her now going into her senior season, but having a little bit of trouble getting started over here.
It's not her, it's the judges. They are conferring on that last routine. And let's talk a little bit about that, is that there are requirements on every apparatus. So if an athlete doesn't complete a turn or misses an element, it sometimes devalues the combination of the two things that were put together. So one judge may give it to her, the next judge may say, I don't think it was there. So then they confer on their scores if they're a bit out of range and try to figure out who was in the wrong. And that's what they're doing right now. They're conferring on that last routine.
And for that, does it come to a point where you have an overruling decision between the 3 judges, or how does that exactly?
There is a head judge on the event, usually the judge with the most experience, and she can, I hate to say influence, but typically she could override a little bit. So it's like the referee with a white hat,
Makes a big difference.
So here we go with the bar routine. Nice start. Let's look for the handstand. It's a tiny bit short. Beautiful pike release move. Again, we're looking for those changes from bar to bar, the full pirouettes, the release move. Let's see if her dismount goes up. Beautiful double layout and a stick. Good for the Tigers. That's their best routine so far.
Needed that after a tough last event there on the bars. We'll see the dismount here.
This is the overshoot the handstand. Again, we're talking moving from bar to bar. There she goes. Nice double layout with a stuck landing. That's the way to do it.
We'll go back to the vault. Aubrey Rosa. First time we've said her name in some time. Big performance earlier this year against Arkansas on January 12th. She got a 9.9 on the vault.
Schenko full. Kentucky is looking very good on the vault tonight. That is their best event. They're ranked 8th in the nation on this event, and one of the things they've needed to do is clean those landings up, and it's going to take them to even a higher score than they have averaged so far this year.
As we go back, we talk about setting the tone as it's going to be for Missouri. It'll be Morgan Porter on the bars. How much is, from a coaching standpoint, do you need that opening momentum to get things going? Because when we were just here a few weeks ago against Georgia, it seemed like Kentucky kind of got off a little bit slow in the vault, and things just started to trickle downhill from there.
That's true. You know, vault is the event where you can kind of get, you've got adrenaline going, and you've got to get that first event under your belt, and you can kind of vault. You don't have to concentrate maybe as intensely as you do the other events. So most teams start off well in the vault at home. When you're on the road, of course, depending on how many teams in the event, you never know where you're going to start at regionals and nationals. So you can't really impose that on your team like, well, we don't want to start here, we don't want to end there. They have to be able to do it no matter where they start and no matter what the situation. Great routine there.
Morgan Porter coming through very
she stuck
strong.
That landing, yes she did. Let's watch it again. Here's the release move. Beautiful. Above the bar. Now watch it dismount, rise above the bar. That the double front is a blind landing. So hard to land because you can't see it. So she just did that perfectly.
And that's who we highlighted in the pregame. Molly Korth, 10 career event wins, just picking up another last week in the loss to Alabama. Can she live up to that performance right now?
So Yurchenko full and a half. It's a little bit short, but very nice vault. So Kentucky's done well here on the vault tonight and set the tone for the other three. Let's look at Molly again. Entry, rise above the table. Just a tiny balance step back. She'll get a nice score on this. I think Coach Garrison's doing it there with her.
He was all in with that one.
Trying to fix that step.
As we'll finish up now onto the bars for Missouri, it'll be Madeline Huber will step up for the Gym Tigers in her junior season. 9.925 were her two highs on the bars last season as she heads underway here for the final six spot for Missouri.
And setting up the release move here. Oh, beautiful. The double layout. A little bit of pike there on the first rotation. The judges will get her for that. Overall, a nice routine. Nice release move. Nice lines. See how that went above the bar.
Finish with the dismount.
Nice routine for the Tigers.
We're going to finish actually with an exhibition. And Leah, go into that a little bit. Everybody knows that the top six, you take your top five scores. What is the point of the exhibition for both teams? What do you get out of that?
Sometimes teams are really deep and they could put 7 or 8 athletes up. So sometimes you want to put that 7th man in a competition situation to see how they do with their nerves, how they do in front of a crowd, how they do under pressure. Sometimes they do better than they've been practicing. Sometimes they do worse, but it gives the coach an opportunity to try that athlete under pressure and see what the judges are going to score them, to see if they can make the lineup.
I remember late last week, Kentucky made some adjustments that, they saw something in the exhibition and made some changes. How possible is that when you see an exhibition? It's not just a show. You might be making some late, lineup changes.
Well, they can't go in the lineup at that meet, but they could the next meet. So basically, it's kind of a tryout, dress rehearsal kind of thing. So basically, the exhibition kids are trying to make it into the lineup. So that gives the coach a chance to see them.
It's a big performance here from Missouri. As you mentioned, they'd start off very strong.
She's doing very well so far. A little loose there on the overshoot. See the legs come apart. Getting ready for the dismount. Handstand was a little short there. Full pirouette to the dismount, double tuck. She's happy.
That's a heck of an exhibition coming in on, as we get a second look.
See the dismount there.
And that will be the end of the opening rotation as we see Kentucky with a 49.1 on vault. Missouri just over 49 on bars. We'll be back with the second rotation live from Memorial Coliseum on the SEC Network. Back with the second rotation from Memorial Coliseum. Everybody enjoying the show here. Friday Night Heights in the SEC. Just got done with rotation number 1. Kentucky start off on the, as we go straight to the vault here to open our second rotation. It'll be Shauna Miller, but looking back at that first, Kentucky doing a very strong job on the vault, Leah.
Just a beautiful vault for Alex. Like we talked about, beautiful execution, nice, beautiful lines. Good accelerator. Oh, here's Katie. Great ball for her. Good night for the Cats on the ball.
As we go over to the bar side, Missouri finished very strong as they were just short. We thought we had a 49, or 48, excuse me, but they ended up with a 49 in the opening, as we saw for Kentucky on the vault, getting that 49.175. And a lot of solid scores up there, but Highland and Stewart leading the way. As we look back for Missouri on the bar scores, a little bit behind Kentucky right there, but did finish still with a 49. As you check back on those scores, really coming through strongly there was Morgan Porter, who was kind of a name we didn't expect to really jump out, but she did in the opening bar set.
Right.
Saw Shauna Miller, who was on the bars team, and she will be on the vault for Missouri to start off. As we go to the second rotation, Kentucky will be on bars, Missouri on vault. We'll be right back with rotation number 2 from Lexington, Kentucky, Friday Night Heights in the SEC. Here with the second rotation from Memorial Coliseum. It'll be the Kentucky Wildcats against the Missouri Tigers. Leah Little alongside me, I'm Clay Ailes. Coach Garrison down there for UK getting ready to line up his team on bars. We're going to go over to the vault first for the Gym Tigers, who've been very strong at 5 9.8s in their last meet, and they're going to start off with Shauna Miller, who did pretty well on the bars, but she'll lead the way on vault for Missouri.
This is Missouri's best event. They're ranked 13th in the nation. Little miscue there. The athletes are allowed that if they don't touch they don't touch the apparatus or touch the landing area, then they can go ahead and go back again and try again. But if they do touch the springboard, then it counts.
Looks like she's just a little bit off there in her step, so she'll get a second look back. As you mentioned, Shauna Miller on bars earlier this season. She really stepped up performance from going back even to her sophomore season. She's been such a solid contributor, but 13 times she was on bars, had very high career highs last year of 9.8 on bars, and 4 of them on vault with a 9.8. So she's a very solid contributor with the first lead here on vault. And I think her ankle may be bothering her a little bit.
Well, it was a nice vault. Just a tiny bit short on the landing, but a nice Yurchenko full.
So after a miscue on the first run
nice
through.
Lift, a little leg separation, but just a little bit piped down.
So after a miscue on the first, she gets through strongly on the second run through, and now we head over to the bars. Katie Carlisle.
It's her release move. Bail to the handstand, and she's getting ready for the dismount. Handstand. And sitting up the full twisting double back. Oh, a little low on that. That'll cost her at least 2/10. I don't think she was real happy. But otherwise, a nice routine.
Career high 9.875 against Arkansas earlier this year on the bars.
You see here, nice. I think her legs just got a little weak under her. It was a nice dismount. She just didn't pop back up after she landed.
She's speaking with Coach Garrison afterwards for that. It's going to be Kennedy Harris now will be second in the run through for Missouri. So you see her average there very strong at 9.76. And vault, As you mentioned, the best category for this Missouri team. They need to put up a strong performance, as we saw 9.7 from the bar side on Kentucky.
Another Yurchenko full. Again, nicely done. She had nice lift off the table. Little bit of position error there. The judges will hit her a 10th or 2. Let's watch here as she comes off the table. Right there, just a little bit, pike down, low on her dismount. But nice lift on that ball.
So go back to the bars. It'll be freshman Ella Warren, who's really stepped up this year for the Gym Cats on the bars. 9.875 against Arkansas.
Down change. But Yeager, beautiful, way above the bar. Nice handstand position again. Overshoot the handstand, beautifully done. Sitting up for a dismount again. A nice routine for Ella. Double layout.
I'll tell you what, Coach Garrison almost got involved on that one as he's getting very close to the last bars. We'll see a second look.
There's the Yeager again, very nicely done, way above the bar. And let's watch the dismount again. Whips that just a little bit. Good routine for Ella.
That's a tough task right there, trying to do your bars, and you got Coach Ellen in the back of the ear. She handled it very strongly, though, and a
The
great
double layout
performance.
dismount is a high value dismount with 2/10 bonus, so it's a little more difficult, a little harder to do.
For Missouri now, Madeline Huber will step back in earlier on the bars, posting a solid score for the Gym Tigers.
Another Yurchenko full. Again, you see those hops on the landings, and we've talked about this before. In order to stack up with the top teams in the country, you've got to eliminate those 1 or 2/10 mistakes on the landing. So that's a big hop there. It's going to cost her at least 2.
I was talking about her earlier on the bars, going back to her score on bars. She got a 9.9 for Missouri, so she's going to be the leader of that area today for both teams as we go back to the bars for Kentucky.
Beautiful ginger there by Haley. Overshoot. Again, that's a bonus element. She gets a 10th bonus for that. We'll talk about our start values here in a minute and explain that to the fans. Another double layout. Beautifully done. Little step back there.
That's really her area of expertise right there. She's just so good on the beam and the bars.
So the start value that we talked about, what that means is the routines don't start from a 10. They start from a 9.5, and the athletes have to earn the extra 5/10 through bonus and connections and those kinds of things. So like we talked about, if they miss connections or don't have those bonus elements, then they don't get judged from a 10, only the value of the routine.
As Missouri will go back over on the vault side, as mentioned, they're best on the vault as we go down. Looks like it's going to be Gabrielle Butalado will be underway. Her first event against Kentucky throughout her career.
That was a very beautifully done Yurchenko full, except for the landing again. So you notice the last 2 or 3 athletes from Missouri have all taken that bounce back on their landing. Right there, you see the hop, at least 2/10, but beautiful execution in the air. Very nicely done. She sticks that, that's going to be a big score for the Tigers.
Tough break for her right there. She mentioned a very strong performance except until the end. As Katrina Coca, the junior, will step up for UK. Coca with 2 career wins on the bars. Both of them very solid earlier in later January when she had a 9.9 twice against Auburn.
Looking very good here so far. Nice lines. Nice release move, a little balance error there. They actually will deduct for that because she stopped during the routine. The bar routine should keep moving at all times. The flight from bar to bar, little twisting double back, little step. Overall, a good routine. They won't hit her too hard for those couple of mistakes. Way above the bar. And then let's look at that. Gotta get that head up and stick those dismounts. Nice routine. Coach Garrison explaining that to her.
As we see Aspen Tucker for the Gym Tigers on the vault. She's an impressive athlete, gets it in the family. Her father, Michael, 7 years in Major League Baseball. So we see her finish the vault.
Beautiful. But again, that hop back. So what we've seen 3, 4 now in a row. It's going to cost them at least 2 tenths. So add that back to those vault scores. They would be a very good, outstanding vault team. Big hop.
How do you keep all these scores in the back of your mind when you're coaching? That's got to be impossible.
Well, you just do.
Let's go back to Alex Highland here, who's mentioned the 2017 SCC champion on the beam, averaging just below a 9.9 on the bars, the key contributor to this Kentucky Wildcats team.
Alex here always does beautiful with her execution. Her legs are always together, toes pointed, beautiful lines, and the young athletes out there should really strive for this. Execution really makes a difference. You know, a lot of athletes have the difficulty, but they just have those couple of little things, the bobbles, the balance errors, the steps. There's another stick. That's 2 for her tonight. I think she's pretty happy. She gets the stick crown tonight so far. There it is, the release move. Full twisting double back stick.
We go back over to the vault side. It's going to be Morgan Porter to round out the top 6 here for Missouri. A 9.875 score she had on bars. So very solid there. Let's see if she can carry it over to the vault.
Here we go on the approach. Nice lift, nice position. You see she piked it down a little bit. Again, you want the height off the table so you can maintain your position in the air. And you'll see the ball goes up, and right here she pikes it down. And another hop. So seeing some good things here from the Tigers. They just clean up those landings. They're going to be a very nice scoring vaulting team. You have Molly up on the bars.
She's been great today at 9.85 to start off on the vault. And very strong on the bars at a 9.9. 10-time all-around winner in her career.
Molly's an aggressive gymnast. It's something we've talked about, how to really attack the events and make them look aggressive and powerful, and Molly sure does that. She's aggressive in everything, the way she attacks the event. Here she comes with her dismount. Cranking it up. Here we go. Full twisting double layout with a stick. I think that was great.
Might be the best one we've seen tonight. Could be her 8th career win on bars.
Now let's watch this dismount. Double layout with the twist. Very difficult.
As we see here, finishing it off there, Molly Korth for the Kentucky Wildcats. We're going to be back here with some reactions from rotation number 2 here from Memorial Coliseum. It's Missouri versus Kentucky, Friday Night Heights in the SEC. Back here with a recap of rotation number 2 between the Kentucky Wildcats and the Missouri Tigers. Leah Little alongside me. I'm Clay Abels, and an impressive start as we look back at the bars side of things for Kentucky. They're not usually a great bars team, but they came through pretty strong there.
Well, they have potential to be a great bars team, but they have not had much success on bars so far this year. The only event they're not ranked on. This was a great night for them on the bars with Molly leading the way. I think we're going to see a little bit of her routine. This is her release move. Beautiful pike. Release move above the bar. Again, this aggressive attack of the event. Sitting up her dismount here where, again, very difficult dismount. The full twisting, double layout, stuck.
Missouri on the vault side of things, very strong last week with 5 9.8s, a little bit below that today.
Very impressed with their vaults. They're going to be a good vaulting team if they can stick those landings, and I bet by the end of the season, conference time, they'll be doing that well.
There'll be a lot of big things going on here as we're going to be back for rotation number 3. Kentucky will be on the beam, Missouri on the floor. We'll have it all here, Friday Night Heights on the SEC Network. And we're back about to go underway for rotation number 3 from Memorial Coliseum. Leah Little alongside me. I'm Clay Ables here on the SEC Network Plus. Kentucky in rotation number 3 will start off on the beam. Missouri on the floor as we look for the Cats. On the beam here to start off, Katie Stewart will lead the way along with Molly Korth and Haley Poland will be in the top 3 for the beam. But we'll start off with Katie Stewart to lead the way, and she's been pretty strong this year on the beam.
Yes, she has, and I tell you what, as a coach, I think the most important spot on the team is that anchor position on the balance beam, because it is so vital that the first person you put up on the beam sets the pace and gets a good score right out of the gate. She's done a great job this year. Cats have been pretty good on this event this year. They're ranked 11th in the country. There's her leap connection. And we talked earlier how those connections add up to bonus. The judges decide whether they did those elements at that level, whether they award the bonus. This is her acrobatic series. Nicely done. Solid as a rock. Now she can breathe a little. You can see her smiling now. Worst is over. Very unusual skill. You can do that, Clay, right?
I'm concerned that looking at this is going to make me hurt. I've got none of this in me.
I'll tell you, when you're up there and it's 4 inches wide, it sure makes a difference in how hard it is to be on the balance beam.
She just nailed it.
She nailed it. We talked about that anchor. She sure threw the anchor in the water right there. Beautiful flight series there for Katie. And here's the dismount, side aerial, full twist. Nicely done.
As we head down to the floor, it'll be Mary Nicholson, the sophomore, will step in. Got her first meet last week against LSU, and she put a 9.8 on the floor. And we'll see how she can start off for the Gym Titans.
You know, this is the event we talk so often where the young ladies get to really show their personalities. They get to pick their music and really get the crowd involved. It's the fun event. Full front layout, nicely done. She's really performing very well. It's her leap series, nicely done. You really want to perform on floor, draw the crowd, draw the judges into your routine. Tell a story. Don't just get out there and do your tumbling passes and dance around. I always told the athletes it is a performance. People pay money to see you, so this is their time to shine. Get ready for her next tumbling pass. A little short on that. That's going to cost her some serious deductions there. She surely had a nice routine going up to that point. That's a shame. You know, and what causes that a lot, Clay, is as you're tired at the end of the routine. At this point in the season, the athletes should be conditioning really hard so they can make those last passes, and that's, I think, exactly what happened. She was tired.
So a good performance by Mary Nicholson that had a tough finish. We'll see how that reflects on her score as we go back over to the beam for the Wildcats. Molly Korth. She mentioned kind of that fearsome threesome for Kentucky. She's a part of that.
She definitely is. Highland, Korth, and Dukes. We kind of labeled them that fearsome threesome. Beautiful full turn. You know, I'll talk about the full turn. That is a required element, and it's amazing how many gymnasts fall on that full turn. It's just sometimes so easy they don't think about it too much. Beautiful acro flight series for Molly. She does the one arm back handspring, which makes it unique and harder. You couldn't do it with 2 arms, right?
No kidding. Not even close.
Beautiful cat leap. Switch leap, back tuck. Again, another bonus series for her. 2/10 bonus for that. She's had a very nice routine, just getting ready for the dismount. She's breathing easily now, I think. Should be a good routine if she finishes strong.
Strong finish.
I think it's stick night for Molly. Let's look at that acro flight series again. One arm back handspring to the layout. And then here's the dismount, the double full. Just a little bit loose in the legs and the execution, but overall just a really nice routine.
As we go down to the floor, it's going to be Allison Bauer for Missouri in her junior season, recording a 9.8 or higher multiple times last year on the floor for Missouri. She's had a solid start this year, keeping right around that 9.8 average.
First tumbling pass opening with a double pike. Beautifully done. She's going to show it off now. I bet when she's at home, those Mizzou fans really get into this routine.
Certainly brings a lot of passion in. You mentioned that performance aspect of it.
But you know, the gymnastics fan appreciates a good routine. Doesn't matter if you're home and away. I think the Kentucky fans will like her. So a leap series. A little bit off in her execution on that. Dropped her leg on the full. Now, a lot of the gymnastics officials have a dance background, so quite a few of them are pretty picky on the dance elements. Last pass, double tuck, big step. Good routine there for the Tigers, the Lady Tigers. Double pike. Very nice. Let's look at the last front full, front layout. Nicely done.
Seems like she gets a really good start into it. That helps a lot.
Like we talked about, they need to really be aggressive in their tumbling and their vaulting.
She's Haley Poland, third spot.
Here's the ice queen on the beam.
I was going to say, bringing out Vanilla Ice. Once again, that's her go-to on the beam.
I think the crowd gets into this. And you know, why can't you have fun on the beam? You know, everybody makes it too serious, and it's kind of fun to have music and dance and just enjoy, get the crowd into it. Beautiful three-element flight series, nailed it. There's that full turn we talked about, perfect. And she's smiling, having fun. There again is that one-arm acro element we talked about. It's a lot harder to do it with one arm. Now you see how she's kind of dancing up there and really drawing the crowd into it, and the officials, and it just makes it more exciting than just to get up there and just be so intense and focused on the beam.
Have to bring out a record crowd tonight, and they're getting involved.
She just did a beautiful C+D element series there that gives her 3/10 bonus. And the reason is that ring jump, maybe we'll look at it again on the replay, it's blind, head is back, and you have a blind landing there on the beam. So she nails this dismount. It's going to be a fantastic routine. And there you go.
Mentioned Haley Poland very strong on the beam, an impressive run, and she was to get a second look. Here's that
Here's
jump.
a three-element acro series, two back handsprings to a layout. Obviously, 3 is harder than 2. Here's that difficult leap series we talked about. See her head back on the ring jump. That's what makes it so much bonus. 3/10 bonus on that little series.
So we head back to the floor. McKaylee Turner will step underway in her junior year. You see right around 9.5 average on the floor. She does a great job on the beam with over a 9.8 average. She's going to have to play very big here on the floor to get the Tigers back in this one.
Getting ready for her opening tumbling. Let's see what she's going to show here. That full front layout, nicely done. She has really beautiful lines in her dance, nice long legs. You know, on those turns that they are required to get that all the way around to get the bonus points for that. Sometimes they don't get all the way around and the judges will deduct it a level. But I encourage the young fans watching this, if you want to aspire to be a gymnast at this level, to just get in front of a mirror and practice and just sell your routine, have fun, pretend you're on stage. And, you know, that's the hardest thing to get young gymnasts to do, is to come out of their shell and really perform. But the college kids love doing that.
Well, Kaylee Turner did a really great job stepping out there on the floor strongly for the Gym Tigers. We get a second look.
This is the full front layout. Very nicely done. Double tuck, and she stuck that.
Elena Kwan will come up for the Kentucky Wildcats. She got an exhibition opportunity earlier on the bars, but she's had a really strong career so far on the beam, but a tough start.
Yeah, that was a big mistake, and just, you know, a mental error there. Pretty easy mount on the beam, and she just lost her focus. Sometimes you think ahead and you miss those little things. I've seen it happen too many times. She's got to get her concentration back and get this flight series. That handspring back layout. She saved it. You can see when we watch again, her ankle was a little off the beam, and that kind of caused that balance error. It's hard when you make a mistake right off the back to try to get your focus back. And she just has lost her focus after that first mistake. That's too bad for Elena. Now remember, there's 6 routines. You get to throw your lowest score out. So this puts a little more pressure on the next athletes, because they don't have any margin of error now that they've had a fall. Elena needs to finish strong. Cat leap, side aerial, full, nicely done.
A tough start, but a strong finish there for Kwan.
She knows. She's like, I just had mental mistake. Here we go with the flight series. You see that just a little ankle there on her left leg, and she landed to dismount cat leap, side aerial, full, nicely done.
As we go back to the floor, it'll be Aspen Tucker competing in both earlier the bars and vault. She really stood out strongly as you go back earlier to what she did on the vault at 9.8. Really one of the leaders here for this Missouri team. It's just a very solid job. Pretty impressive over here on the floor.
She's been the go-to girl for the Tigers, and I think she's going to show us here why.
Wow. Yep. That's an explosive start.
It sure is. That's an E element skill, and you see the amplitude on her dance there. All right, I think she can wow us with that second pass. I'm gonna bet that she can. Very nice. And you know what's great about what she's done? She's shown us salto elements and twisting elements. A lot of athletes go one way or the other, but she's already shown us combinations. I think she's going to sell this last pass. Double tuck. Little problems on the landing there, but overall a very nice routine.
As we get a second look at Tucker's performance, really came out of the gates fast.
Full in, full twisting, double back. Tremendous amplitude. Double tuck, you see there, she just couldn't land it.
As here's Sydney Dukes back over to the beam. 6 career wins on beam.
Sydney's a performer. She loves being up there. She loves performing to the crowd. There's that required full turn. It gets a lot of them we talked about. Beautiful flight series, stuck. An aerial beat jump combination. Nicely done. Oh, there's a little wink to the crowd. Switch leap. Straddle. If you would see that switch leap stop, she does almost the perfect switch leap. Absolutely beautiful. Sitting up for a dismount here. Layout 1.5. Very nice routine for Sydney.
She had a 9.95 against Alabama. Last year was her career high. She did pretty strong right there.
Let's look at this flight series again. Back handspring, layout, step out. Nicely done. And here is that beautiful switch leap. Just textbook perfect. Great routine for Sydney.
As we go down to the floor, it'll be Kennedy Harris will step in for the Gym Tigers. A 9.75 on the vault earlier.
You can kind of hear the intensity of the music. She's kind of reeling you in for that first pass, and here it comes. I'm excited. Double pike just up there in the clouds. Just a little problem on the landing, but fantastic double pike. Here comes the leap combination, I assume. Switch, leap, straddle. Again, those judges look for those to be all the way around, the legs all the way up. Okay, it's time to get the crowd into it. That layout front full. Now you really want to see the floor routine work at all levels. You can see the young ladies down on the floor, a lot of amplitude in their leaps and things, but should just show different levels, different elements, a lot of originality. The judges like that. Last pass. Another double tuck. Again, in the clouds.
Yes, here's Kennedy Harris. What a performance she put on out there as we get just a quick second look.
Let's look at this pass. This is her front layout, front full. Nicely done. Good job.
I'll say one thing that stood out about her on the floor is just not only the speed, but just, as you mentioned, going into the clouds. How high up she got off the ground was ridiculous.
The amplitude on both those double backs was just huge. Just huge. Hard to land it when you're up that high.
Here's Alex Highland, SEC champion, going with the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air theme song.
Well, she's the Kentucky princess up there. Switch sleep. Combo. I think she's the Prince of Lex.
She might be.
This is her event. As you mentioned, SEC beam champion, front aerial. Little balance error there, but she has a difficult combo here. Great. You see her singing up there. That's just relaxing herself. Beautiful handstand. Alex looks a little tentative up there tonight. That's not usually how she performs. She usually owns the beam. Still a great routine. She just wasn't quite attacking as she normally does with a few little balance errors, but it's still a nice routine.
If that's not her A game, that's still pretty impressive for not being your A game.
Absolutely. Just a little balance error there. And then this is usually a 3-element series for her, and she did the handspring layout. Cat leap full. But she's happy. She got out of there alive. No mistakes.
What a finish right there as Madeline Huber goes to the floor. You see her floor average is below a 9, but her career high last year came against Kentucky with a 9.875. Something about Memorial Coliseum has her at a higher performance. We'll see if she can carry that over to this year.
See what she does here. She opens with the double pike. I think we were talking about her earlier, how she has nice clean lines, nice long legs. Second pass. Front layout, front full, nicely done. Again, you know, we talked about this time of the year, the endurance element is so important. At this point, they should be able to make those last passes without breathing so hard. This is kind of her rest. She's on the floor doing some dance. And this gives the gymnast the time to breathe a little bit before that last pass. All right, sitting up for the final pass here for the Tigers. That step out of bounds is going to cost her. Otherwise, a nice routine. I thought she had it there.
See the first right here, coming out strong.
Front layout, front full, nicely done with just a little balance error. Here she comes on that last pass where she steps out. Nice routine.
As we'll see, an exhibition to finish off Kentucky will be Katrina Coca, who was also in earlier for the Wildcats, as she stepped out on the bars. Got a 9.8. Interesting going with Coldplay as the background music.
Well, the girls like to pick the things that they like, and whatever relaxes them and makes them just loosen up a little bit. Nice series there. Little balance error, but not huge. Handspring layout. Again, just turned her hips out. Didn't really plant that first foot. Kentucky's been really consistent on the beam this year, ranked 11th in the country. Ready to see the dismount here. Round up, 4.5. Nice exhibition routine. Let's look at this. It's a gainer back handspring to the layout, and you see just her turn her hips out, which cost her the balance problem on the landing. Definitely some potential there in that routine. Just needs to get out in front of the crowd.
And we're going to finish with an exhibition here. It's going to be Zaria Lewis will step in, a sophomore from Columbia, Missouri. She's very good on the vault, 9.825. She almost got to compete at the SEC Championships last year, but it's only one time in her career she's been on the floor. And she'll be the exhibition to finish off for Missouri.
Speaking of the SEC, you know, it is the strongest gymnastics conference in the country. 4 teams in the top 10 right now: LSU, Florida, Alabama, and Kentucky Wildcats.
Kentucky at the 9th spot, so this is a big opportunity at home here, as you mentioned, going into that. We'll talk a little bit later about the RQS scoring and how that factors in late, as Lewis has a tough start to open.
Huge double pike, and as we talked about earlier, she was so high she just couldn't really control that landing. Putting a little funk into that dance. Next tumbling. Very nice. And she's dancing it out. Now she can have a little fun. Oh, there's some uniqueness right there.
She really brings flavor to the dance.
She's definitely having fun with it and enjoying being out there, and that's what it should be all about. Sports should be fun. Ends with a double tuck. A deep pass at the ending, that's pretty hard.
So very strong on the performance side of things. We're going to get a second look, but she had a little bit of trouble with the technical part early on in that first.
Right. And one thing, if you watch the top teams in the country, the things that they don't do, or the things, these little balance errors and these little landing mistakes, their execution is so clean, and that really is what stands out and makes the difference between the top teams and the teams that are aspiring to be great.
It's going to make a big difference here as you see the scores. As of right now, Kentucky with almost, actually over a 1-point lead going into the fourth rotation here. Kentucky going into the fourth rotation with a 1-point lead over Missouri. We'll be right back with the fourth rotation live here from Memorial Coliseum on the SEC Network. Capping the third rotation, Kentucky on the beam, one of their strong suits on the team, and posted a decent score of 49.25. You saw really good overall scores around for Kentucky, and especially Alex Highland living up to that expectations as always.
Absolutely. The Cats did great on the beam tonight. It's really going to help them with that, trying to get that 197 score at home. Let's look at the dismount from Alex. Again, getting the highest score tonight.
As Missouri, which we saw them on the floor, had a little bit of a troubling start, but we came off with some nice finishes there. You see really coming through well Allison Bauer and McKaylee Turner right at 9.825.
The Tigers had some nice tumbling. Same thing again, they just had some problems with their landings. Again, just 2/10 on every score here and there. It adds up over time.
It's right around a 1.1 differential here as we head to the fourth rotation. Kentucky will be on the floor. Missouri will be on the beam. The fourth and final rotation coming back here from Lexington, Kentucky. It's Friday Night Heights on the SEC Network. Fourth and final rotation from Memorial Coliseum. Leah Little alongside me. I'm Clay Abrams. We're going to head over to the beam for the fourth and final rotation. It'll be Missouri on the beam as they just came off the floor. And leading the way will be Allison Bauer, who just came off the floor with a 9.825. As you see here, it's over a 1-point differential going into the fourth and final rotation. If you're Missouri's head coach, what is kind of the attitude here? I mean, it's basically you have to perform pretty strongly to pull this off.
It's really tough to be the visiting team and be behind when the home team's on floor, because you know the crowd's going to get into the home team, the music's going to be loud, and you just really have to get your mindset to just get up there and do your job, forget what's going on around you. But tough spot for Missouri to be in, but they need to be strong here on the beam. Acro series, back handspring, back layout. Little struggles there. She just didn't quite get her arms up enough to get the rotation on the layout. One thing I think is important, we talked about this earlier with some of the athletes, it's just your facials when you're on the beam, to be smiling and having fun and performing. Some athletes don't perform on the beam like they do on the floor as far as their expressions, and I think it really adds a lot to the event if you can get up there and perform like you do on floor. So gainer full dismount. Started the Tigers off with this.
Look back at the flight series here from Bauer.
You see here, she just didn't quite stand up strong out of the layout, out of the back handspring. And here's the gainer full, nice dismount. Starting off the Tigers on the beam.
As we go down to the floor here, as you mentioned, Megan Monfredi with her first appearance as a Kentucky Wildcat. See a freshman out of Pennsylvania. She's from Excel Gymnastics. A lot of pressure on her here because Kentucky really needs that 197 score you've been talking about.
Well, I'm not sure she'll have pressure. This should be a really exciting moment for her first time out as a Wildcat here at this point in the season. So she's been performing well, obviously, for Coach Garrison to put her out there. Let's look at her front tumbling pass. Wow. Step out to a double tuck. Bonus 2/10 on that opening pass. I see now why she's in the lineup. Let's look at our second pass here, see what we're going to have. Double pike, beautiful, beautiful. You know, when you can put a routine like this up first, this is going to really be great for the Cats down the line. You need a strong person to lead you off no matter what event it is. Great opening for Megan here. Let's see if she can finish it up strong. Front full, front tuck. Oh, there's the cat scratch at the end. I love it. Wow.
Megan Monfrey with an insane first performance as a Kentucky Wildcat. That's about as good as you can do from the opening day.
Let's look at this first pass. Front step out to the double tuck. 2/10 bonus on that front pass, and then the beautiful double pike second. I'll tell you what, Kentucky's ranked 5th in the nation on floor. If they can add someone of her caliber into the lineup this late in the season, it's only going to make them better.
It'll be a big addition. So what a start for Megan Monfrey as Tia Albritton will go over to the beam, her first time in this match. A 9.875 last week against LSU. So she's very strong on top of the beam.
Tia just did a beautiful front aerial to back layout, or back handspring. Switch sleep. Switch jump. There's that full turn, required element. You know, the fans may not notice, but if an athlete misses a required element, say, for example, that full turn, if she just didn't do it for some reason, there's a big deduction for missing required elements, and the fans would never know that. It could look like a perfect routine to them. Sometimes the fans will boo scores, but sometimes they're not sure what happened. There's the gainer full off the side. Nice routine.
Almost taking a fall afterwards. Luckily she didn't do that during the routine, but Tia Albritton very strong right there. So we go back and get a second look.
That punch front split jump.
Here's the dismount.
Here's the gainer full off the side. Good job.
You mentioned over on the beam moments ago, the Ice Queen, Haley Poland, now onto the floor. She does not have a career win on the floor, but very recently against Georgia back in the beginning of February on the 9th, she had 9.875, so she's really stepped it up here lately on the floor for the Wildcats. We'll see if she can continue that here.
Personally, I think she should do vanilla ice on the floor.
Keep it going strong, why not?
Here comes that opening pass. Punch front. Full. Open strong. Now you watch her here, how she performs this routine. She just, very exciting, very fun to watch. Full extension on all of her dance. Draws you right into what she's doing. Her eyes are up. She's looking at the crowd, looking at the judges. You definitely want to keep your eyes up, not focus down. A lot of young athletes do that, so that's something the young ones can practice. Again, that presentation. Front 1.5. I love her music. It's very unusual and dynamic, and she punches some type of dance element on every beat of that music and just draws you right in.
That's a statement.
That's right. Great routine for Haley. Always fun to watch. Quite the dancer.
So two strong starts on the floor for Kentucky. Megan Monfrey and Haley Poland. As we get a second look back at that, she was just firing on all cylinders. As we're going to go back to the beam here, it'll be Aspen Tucker, who's been in every rotations so far, her best being on the vault with a 9.8. She's pretty solid on the beam as well, as you see right there, just below 9.7. She did pretty well last week around that number at 9.7 against LSU.
Sitting up for her acrobatic element here. Back handspring, back pike. Nailed it. Little big jump back layout. Combination. Bonus combo there. Give her. She's taking it up a notch now. Putting up the dismount. Round off double four. It's a little bit short on that landing. Didn't really extend it. But nice routine.
As you mentioned, talking about earlier, do you think as you get to the fourth rotation, Tucker being in every one of them, do you think she's possibly worn down a little bit towards the end?
She really shouldn't be. Like I said, at this point in the season, the athletes should be well conditioned. There's only 3 or 4 meets left in the regular season. They should be able to not be tired on the fourth event.
So here comes out Ella Warren to the floor. Had a career high 9.85 against Georgia a couple weeks ago.
You know, one thing, when they get to regionals and nationals, they compete back-to-back days. So being tired on one day is not going to cut it when you get to the postseason. Nice for Ella opening pass. Just very elegant, classical style dance. Fun to watch. I think it's really nice when teams mix up the type of music they have. Sometimes you will watch them perform and everybody's got the same genre of music, but Kentucky seems to have a lot of difference in their music between their gymnasts. I enjoy that. Here she comes. 1.5 back way up.
Getting the crowd into it.
Routine for Ella. She's going to score well. You know, Ella came in January. Only been on campus here now at Kentucky a couple months. Did the same thing Molly Korth did last year. Came in mid-season.
She's transitioned so well into this team.
Right. That's difficult to do when you come in. You don't know anybody. You don't know the school. Look at this pass.
Next on stage for Missouri, Brooke Kelly.
Front layout.
So here comes Brooke Kelly back out to the beam. Her strong suit averaging just above a 9.8. She was earlier on the vault, or excuse me, on the bar. She's got a 9.675.
Now you can tell already what I was talking about, how aggressively she's working the beam. You can see from the mount, she's just attacking the beam, and just makes it more exciting. You know, the athletes that just get up there and they move so slow and so cautious, it's just not even fun to watch. So the judges really reward that when the athletes can be aggressive and dynamic and really perform up there.
As you mentioned, she's attacking early on here.
Straddle jump. There's that ring jump again we talked about that's so difficult because the head is all the way back. In order for them to get that bonus, the head has to be all the way back. Some girls try to cheat it, but the judges can pick it out. Very nice routine. Very nice. She's happy.
Exactly what Missouri needed trying to get back into this match. As we'll look back at the dismount.
Front full. Nice routine for the Tigers. Aggressive, dynamic. Definitely what you want to see in a beam performance.
As the SEC champion, Alex Highland heads out here. 1 career win on the floor. and that was against Auburn last year. So you look at all of them, she really stands out strong on the beam, but 4 might be right up there with her second best performance.
Doing a little Mamba number 5 here. That's been a while back.
I tell you
Flashback.
what. They like bringing the old school music back, it seems like.
Anything to get the crowd into it. Double pike, stuck. I think you're going to see her turn it on now. She has so much fun with this routine. Beautiful leap series there. Nice height all the way around on the turns. This is the fun part of her routine. She kind of gets it cranking here. Now she rewinds it, takes it back, and here we go. That's hard to do. Reverse.
Gets a
Cranking the
crowd.
crowd. All right, there's a strong finish here for Alex. 4.5 foot in front. I think she could be happy with that performance, as her teammates are.
As we go back to the first pass, she came out very strong from the beginning. She's getting the crowd involved early there.
Double pike, perfectly done, stuck. 4.5 front layout, or full front layout, and finish strong.
It'll be Morgan Porter stepping onto the beam. Career high 9.9 against Arkansas. It's the best she's done back in 2016. Usually, as you mentioned, right around that 9.5 average with the sophomore here with a chance to improve this Missouri score late in the match.
The front salto to a backward element. Lost her balance there on the salto. The judges will hit her for that connection. Little balance error there. You know, people ask how serious are those balance errors. Well, it really depends on how much you lose your balance. If it's slight and corrected early, the judges may just take a 1/2 tenth or a tenth. If it's a big balance error where you bend at the waist or almost fall off the beam, that could be up to 4 points or even as much as a fall. 4/10 of a point, I'm sorry. Concentration now, getting ready for a dismount. Here we go. 4.5. So she was able to save it where she had those small mistakes. Let's look at the dismount again. Round off. 4.5.
That's a strong finish there for Porter as we go down to Sydney Dukes. Strong suit, definitely the floor. 8 career wins, and she's had an impressive start so far today in her 3 rotations she's been out there. Let's see if she can keep the hot streak going on the floor for the Gym Cats.
And we talked earlier, if you want to see somebody really turn it on and really perform, watch Sydney. Always smiling, always drawing you in. This opening pass for Sydney, double pike. Great landing, great start. Beautiful Spanish guitar here. I love watching this. Fantastic ring jump. You know, we talked about her almost perfect, technically, her switch leap on the beam. Well, on floor, she does almost a technically perfect switch to ring jump. It's absolutely stunning. Full front layout. She's on a roll. See, selling that routine to the judges. finishes strong here. I think the judges are going to reward her for this performance. Finish with a double tuck. Just a fantastic routine for Sydney.
And her and Alex stars the match. So we get that second look.
Front full front layout. Perfectly done. And here's the last pass again. Double tuck. And she knows she has it in the bag at that point.
Her, Cortland Highland have been big time today for Kentucky.
Well, we talked about the threesome, the fearsome threesome. They're at it again.
They're very strong today. We're going to finish up on the beam for Missouri. In the 6th spot will be Brittany Ward, her first time out today. She's mainly known for her vault skills, going back to the SEC championship last year. But she's pretty good as well on the beam. Surprised to see her here in this last rotation. See if she can finish strongly here for the Tigers.
That was very nice. Very original way to get on the beam. And ready for her acro series here. Back handspring, back layout, step out. A slight bobble there. Switch leap, pike jump. That leap, side aerial. Again, just these balance errors that are costing the Tigers. Dismount, round off, full and a half. She's happy with that.
So Brittany Ward coming in pretty well there for Missouri to finish off their time on the beam. As we'll look back on the dismount.
You see her finish here. Round off, full and a half. Stuck that dismount. Stick crown.
So a couple of them that really stood out today. As you mentioned a stick crown. We're going to see a late change here for Kentucky in the 6th spot. Will be Corey Reckenmacher. It was going to be Molly Korth, but Reckenmacher will step in the first time of the match. I think it's the first time we may have seen her on floor since Excite Night back on January the 8th, where she had a 9.825, but her career high is a 9.85 against Florida. So we'll see how she fares here on the floor to finish it off for the Wildcats.
Punch front, 3-2, double tuck. Switch ring, nice 3-element leap series there. Bringing a little Beatles into it, another little old school here.
I like the old school, it really brings it back out. Just the fans enjoy it, it's got a good beat.
Well, like I said, UK does that very well in that they have multiple genres of music on floor, which makes it a lot more interesting. Last pass here, double pike, strong finish.
Corey Reckenmacher, what a
welcome back to
finish.
the lineup.
How about that? First time in the meet, and she was very
Punch front.
skilled.
Through to double tuck. Let's look at her last pass again, finishing strong with a double pike. That's big. Again, she's not tired at the ends. If you can finish with a double pike.
As we look there, we're going to come back with the final scores here from Memorial Coliseum. We'll tally the final scores. We'll be back with Friday Night Heights on the SEC Network. Back for the postgame here, the end of the fourth rotation, and the Kentucky Wildcats taking the win over the Missouri Gym Tigers. Hello, everybody, and welcome in. I'm Clay Aples. Alongside me, Leah Little. A great performance between these two teams today, Leah, especially from the Kentucky side. You mentioned going in this one, the 197 markers, what they got to hit, and they did find the way to hit 197.
Right, Kentucky really needed that to have a chance to make it to the big dance. And speaking of that, you know, there's a new format this year at Nationals where instead of that 2 teams on a bye in every session, there won't be any more byes. It'll be 4 teams go, 2 sessions, and it'll make it a lot better format.
As a coach going from 12 teams to 8 teams, how does that change things? I'm sure it pressurizes a little bit more getting towards that top score.
It's really actually better because when you have to sit on a bye for however long it takes a rotation of an event, you know, you're trying to keep your kids warmed up, you're trying to keep them focused. It's just terrible. So it's going to be a great format. Plus, it's going to take an hour and a half off the national championship.
That's going to make a huge difference. And as we see the final score there, Kentucky 197.1. They'll get to drop their lowest score, that 196.25. And to explain that to people, the RQS system, what they go off of, team with the top 3 away scores and also their top 3 overall scores. A very weird situation here. This Kentucky's probably their best performance at home so far, but they've done tremendous on the road.
They've done great on the road, which is most teams' downfall. They go away, they get used to the comforts of home, they go away and they choke. So Kentucky's done great on the road. They can pick up a home score here, and they've got a few more opportunities with the SEC Championship coming up. The Cats have a great chance to make it to Nationals this year.
A lot of big moments left in this gymnastics season. Missouri fails to get their 3rd top 10 win of the year. Kentucky staying inside the top 10 with the win today. Kentucky 197.1 against Missouri, got a 195.125. The final score here, for Leah Little, I'm Clay Abels. Thank you for tuning in to Friday Night Heights on the SEC Network.